Hey, this is the Woke Socialist Podcast. We are woke, we are socialist, and we are not going anywhere. So let's cut the shit and let's give it to you straight. According to Status Quo News, ICE has arrested 10,000 people in 5 days. Radio silence from the Democratic Party. Just let that sink in. In the United States of America, where people in every state are telling you that this is the most important election of your life, as they have many times, no one but Status Quo News is putting this information out. Before we get started, let me ask you, please like and subscribe to this video. It moves us up in the algorithm because we know that free speech is right now being sabotaged. If there was any time that you needed to speak out but can't get out, you can't vote, you can't donate, do it now. All it takes is a click to preserve the First Amendment rights of people like me on YouTube. This is absolutely the last bastion of free speech. And trust me when I say it is under siege. If you live in a blue state right now, watch your six. And when I say watch your six, that's a military term for you need to watch your back. You're 6 o'clock. You're at 12. You're 6. All right, so here's how it goes. How it has been going for quite some time. You have your baby boomers. And you had a tolerance among black people and other non-whites to go along, to get along. Now, if you know American history the way I do, and the way many people do who are in my position right now, you know that every 70 to 100 years of black advancement, or Native American advancement, or civil rights, or anything that puts anyone above the colonists, there is a regression. There is a post-reconstruction, if you will. This is what we are past right now. We are past the post-reconstruction era. Now, if you know anything about history, the Reconstruction era happened directly after the Civil War. All of a sudden, freed, enslaved black people were allowed to vote, get elected to office, open up businesses. The whole wide world was open. And it only lasted for a hot minute. As soon as white people realized black excellence, and these individuals thirst for freedom and ability to achieve it, their systematic generational laziness set in. And that's the same laziness, the white laziness that we're seeing right now. And it's not only in the average person out on the street, it's in the United States government. And they have crafted a way to indoctrinate black individuals to continue the lost cause without knowing they're doing so. And we call these people the get-along gang. These people and some of their ancestors have been getting along, going along to get along. And these are high yellow, damn near white, or hopelessly black people who feel the need to be accepted by white people and have white proximity. And this is a real problem in the United States, and it has been since slavery. Now, that same adage goes to Native Americans, because right now in the United States Congress and Senate, you have Native American APAC Democrats. Yeah, I said it. You have victims of a genocide on this land taking money from entities committing a genocide in Gaza. And one of them that is trying to run for office again in Alaska, I'm going to leave the name out because that's another show, is asking for donations right now on YouTube. You need to look up the APAC checklist and find if your senator and congressman is into this shit. So, a day or two ago, I'm up here, it's almost 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's July 3rd again. And Major Jason Watson did a speech in Washington, D.C. Now, this individual has served 17 years in the United States military. 17 years in the United States military. I repeat that for a purpose. And he threw his entire career, his life, his family away. He's probably going to do jail time to stand up for us against Donald Trump. Because there are not enough people in the United States to give up comfort, to comfort Mr. Jason Watson, Major Jason Watson of the United States Air Force, to make this country inhabitable for a veteran like him. So once he did his speech, he walked up the stairs and was arrested by Capitol Police. Now, I would refer you to a video done by Jolly Good Ginger. On the best video that I saw was on the Don Lemon show. He filled in for Don Lemon when this story actually broke the first time. Now it's going viral. Of course, everybody's piggybacking off of him. So, but anyway, that being said, Major Jason Watson spent 17 years serving this nation. James Carville spent 2 years between 1966 and 1968 in the United States Marine Corps. And I say to you this day, if you think democratic socialists don't believe in democracy and freedom, and that they believe in communism, you don't understand the concept of socialism. Now, maybe some people do subscribe to some other things. That's not my thing in life to judge that. But you served 2 years, and this guy served 17. And you think you get to get up here and tell black and brown and red people how to vote? And that they don't belong in your party? James Carville, you can fuck all the way off. First of all, you're what, 81 years old? The problem with the United States of America right now is there are too many gray-haired fossils shooting off at the mouth on social media and on cable news. That's the problem. What you should have done is, instead of buying into the money and the relevancy and having to be on TV, you should have done better by the next generation, like we intend to do. We only borrow this earth from our children. We don't inherit it from our parents. But you fucking vampires, you vampires of both parties have done nothing but suck the life out of the United States of America so that the rest of us have nothing to inherit. And this is where we're at, and this is why. And at the same time you were becoming famous, talking shit. Okay, Hillary Clinton was getting money from Big Pharma and Monsanto. And she set up my generation and the generations after me to rely on now these 401ks that Donald Trump is saying we're all getting rich off of. Why? Because if you voted against pensions and unions, it put more money in your pocket. Because pensions and unions do not make high fructose corn syrup to put in our sodas and poison our bodies the same way the United States government did people at Camp Lejeune in the 1970s, 80s, 60s, and 50s. But I digress. This did not serve you. But for a long time, the black people did. And black people are just as guilty for being poorly educated about democratic governance as toothless Appalachians are about MAGA. You bought into the bullshit, and you're still buying into it. During the Clinton administration, it was Big Pharma, and it was Monsanto. And Hillary Clinton was riddled with it. But long before she got into that, Nancy Pelosi got into the Israel lobby way back in 1987. Generation after generation, decade after decade, year after year, Nancy Pelosi has been grooming black, brown, and red people to buy into this AIPAC bullshit. Now, I don't know what the relationship was between her and John Lewis and Elijah Cummings. But damn if she didn't have them fooled too. And John Lewis's body wasn't even cold before she started betraying the black people by not stopping Donald Trump from the genocide that is being committed right now against Somali Americans. This is where we're at. And people like Carville and everybody that bought into this bullshit is responsible. Don't sit up like king shit on Turd Mountain all of a sudden, like you can pontificate and tell other people what to do and how to feel. You are, and always, until you act differently, be colonizers. And every 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 years you show your fucking colors. And you just showed them. You just showed them. And the problem with democratic socialists winning all these elections has absolutely nothing to do with socialism or communism or anything else. Let's be clear. It has something to do with the color of the skin of the people who are winning these elections. That's the problem that Carville has with it. And if he wants to argue about it, I challenge him right now. The problem with Fox News and all these other Democrats that are attacking Hassan Piker and people like that? Let's keep it 100%. Since AOC, all the other Democratic socialists have been darker in skin color. Now all of a sudden, AOC wants us to believe that Hakeem Jeffries is the best bet for Speaker of the House from here on out. Get the fuck out of here. Now, at one point, I loved AOC, but I did not completely trust her. All right? And now she does this turnaround on Hakeem Jeffries. I ain't falling for it. No okie doke here. See, that's what happens to people of all colors that join the Democratic Party. Or for that matter, the Republican Party. They get a little sniff, they get a little whiff, and all of a sudden they can play on both sides of the aisle when they ran on something else like Hakeem Jeffries. And let me get to the governors. While we're at this. Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger are absolutely atrocities. They are rolling psychodramas and random acts of stupidity. Not for establishment America, but for the people that voted for them. Since she got elected, Abigail Spanberger in the state of Virginia has voted against every single policy she said she was going to vote for. And right now, Mikey Sherrill, a veteran, mind you, is sitting on her ass while ICE and New Jersey state troopers attack and brutalize protesters for no reason. It's just a back and forth skirmish. It is not protesters doing something to ICE officials in front of Delaney Hall. It's just a skirmish. Just every day they come out and attack and beat people. That's where we're at. That's how you got sold out. Mikey Sherrill is the antithesis of a Democrat. Hakeem Jeffries, Cory Booker, and Abigail Spanberger are the antithesis of the Democratic Party. James Carville is a traitor to the party. You know why? Because it's vote blue no matter who until you don't vote for who I tell you to vote for. And then when you vote for them, like you did Nancy Pelosi, like you did Hillary Clinton, what they do is absolutely nothing. Because by being a public servant, they can no longer serve themselves. Upton Sinclair said, "It is hard to convince a man." Wait a minute. I better save that for another day. That's got to be on point for me to say that. At any rate, basically I'll say it like this. When a man or woman's salary does not reflect what they should believe in, it is hard to convince them to perform for what they believe in. I'll say it like that. So for decades, Nancy Pelosi has been playing two ends against the middle. Absolutely. She's been doing the civil rights side and all this and blah, rah, 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 and we're going to do this. Same with Chuck Schumer and all of them. But right now, you know what they do? They vote for the policies of the blood and soil, tiki torch, anti-Semitic Republican Party, while they call Democrats and socialists anti-Semitic. Ain't that some shit? Now this is how they twist shit on you right now. And you're new to the game. The rest of us who still understand that this is the same movie and different actors, we've been living with this all of our lives. And our great-grandfathers and great-grandfathers and great-grandfathers have too. This is nothing new to us. But now it's twisted. So at the same time, you get to hate Jews in certain circles if you're MAGA. Like, I don't know, Jake Lang. And you get to call them, people who contaminate the blood of America. You get to support a government that calls black and brown and red people anti-Semitic. Kind of suspicious, huh? Doesn't make any sense. Well, since 2016, you've been making it make sense. And many of you have not been bright enough to connect the dots. This isn't about race. This is about money. And everybody in the Congress and the Senate right now who is not rising up against tyranny is complicit. I'm done calling them milquetoast Democrats. I'm going to call them liberal fascists. How about we do that? Because everything they have done since they had both houses, since they had Joe Biden in office, and since they had the ability to rid us of this moment on the eve of July 4th, the 250th anniversary of this nation, they have done the opposite of a revolution. And they have handed our country over to not a monarch, to not fascism, to not a dictator, but pure, unmitigated theft on the greatest scale in the history of the world, and absolute evil. Nothing else makes sense. From here on out, if you believe that democratic socialists are communists, that's fine with me. And I'm sure it's fine with everybody else who you call that. But make no mistake, we are going to do what we have to do, not for you, but in spite of you. We have to live in this country past your fuck-ups. So we intend to do that. And when it all comes down and the last dog is hung, don't ask us for shit. Because we're going to remember every single moment that you could have done something and did not. You want to talk about patriotism? Every single person that does not at this moment see this for what it is and act accordingly is a traitor to the very Constitution and has failed on a colossal scale to uphold their oath of office, both Democrats and Republicans. This is the Woke Socialist Podcast. Have the day you voted for.